Welcome, students. Today I will discuss a very important topic of food production. Just as when you join a hotel management program and you have high aspirations to become a chef, and you begin with your studies, you are given your lesson plan, you are given your syllabus by your respective subject teachers. This is the first topic which is taught to you in food production. The topic is Introduction to Professional Cookery. This topic basically helps you to know what is food production department, what is kitchen department in a 5-star hotel, how does it function, why do we study professional cookery, how is it different from amateur cooking at home, and what are the special tools and equipments basically used in any 5-star hotel kitchen. You come to know about those equipment and tools. You also come to know about the etiquettes, the attitude, the behavior which is expected out of you if you become a chef. You learn about grooming standards, you learn about safety standards to be followed in a hotel. So this topic is very important. So I will start discussing this topic and I will try to cover all these aspects in this topic, which is usually there in unit number 1 of your food production syllabus in semester 1. Introduction to Professional Cookery. So what all you will be learning in it is, we will start from a culinary history. How did it all started? It all began in France. That is why France is known as mother of hospitality industry, mother of hotel industry. The first restaurant, the first hotel opened up in France. Then origin of modern cookery. What changes happened in the traditional way of cooking through time that now it is being known as modern cookery. The modern cookery concept which you study these days and which is applied to the hotel industries these days, which is applicable in hotel industries, is modern cookery. How does it function? What is kitchen brigade? How the staff is organized? What are the duties and responsibilities of different chefs? What is so special about modern cooking? What are the special techniques, tools used in modern cooking? We will talk about all those things. Then modern developments in equipment and foodstuff. Development of the culinary art from the Middle Ages to modern cookery. How did it all change over a period of time? Then how does a modern hotel kitchen look like, or how does it function? The layout of a modern hotel kitchen. And then we will study about nouvelle cuisine. Nouvelle in French means new. So most of the terms which you come across while studying food production are in French, because as I told you earlier, France is the mother of hospitality industry, especially the culinary world. When we talk about culinary world, we talk about France. So nouvelle cuisine or new cuisine, what is that? So we will start discussing. As you all know, that this time is a very interesting time and exciting time to be starting a career in food service or hotel industry. There are many openings, but only for talented and creative people. If you are really enthusiastic about your career, you are passionate about cooking, you will definitely become a chef. Nobody can stop you, but you need patience, knowledge, hard work. These are some of the qualities which are essentially required to become a chef. New restaurants will be opening up after the period of lockdown. It's very interesting to know that many companies who were doing some other businesses now will be opening up businesses which will be of hospitality related business, because they know that COVID has badly affected all the industries. But as soon as you give relaxations and the lockdown is open, the people will come back and there will be a booming increase in the tourist flow in hotels, in tourist destinations. So it is the best business out there amongst all other businesses in the current scenario of the world. As you all know, chef is a skilled person, he's an artisan, he's an artist, and he's respected by all. And even in the five-star hotel, he has a great respect for his work. They are skilled people, and if they want to go abroad, as you have heard, that they can easily go abroad if they want to go and settle down in foreign country. They have minimum 3 to 5 years of experience of working in good hotels in India. They can apply for a work visa to foreign countries and they can go, right? So high levels of job satisfaction, because it is your innate interest, inside interest, which provokes you to become a chef, and you have a better salary than any other your colleagues or working in other departments of a hotel. You have a better salary than them. And immediate feedback on your work is very, very important, because as soon your food is delivered to the guest, the customer, they will give you the feedback, and that will help you to improve, or they will help you to motivate you further to make more interesting and more innovative dishes. So we start with the culinary history. The 18th century Boulanger's restaurant was the first restaurant opened in 1765 by a Parisian tavern keeper, means Paris, and the name of that traveler was Monsieur Boulanger. He was owning a tavern. Tavern is a kind of a restaurant. So he opened up and he sold soups in his restaurant. And the word restaurant comes from the word to restore or to fortify. Okay, restaurer is a French word which means to restore or fortify. It basically means you bring back your energy which has gone down during the time of your travel. You were traveling and your energy has lost, so you want to bring back, re-energize yourself. So you are visiting a restaurant and having some food in the restaurant. Since the 16th century, restoratives described rich and highly flavored soups or stews capable of restoring lost strength. Fine. Boulanger served a variety of foods prepared on premises to customers whose primary interest was dining. So basically, to recoup their energy, he was serving soup, which is considered to be a complete meal. Okay, it restores all your nutrition. The French Revolution in 1873, before the French Revolution in 1873, what happened? Great chefs worked for kings, nobles, and food service was controlled by guilds. The revolutionary government abolished the guilds, which left many chefs without work. Okay, guild was a system of working. Fine, it was a system of working. Many of these chefs opened restaurants which allowed the public access to skills and creativity of sophisticated chefs. Out of these, two major chefs were Antonin Karim, who is also regarded as cook of kings and the king of cooks. From 1783 to 1833, that was the time period this great chef existed, and he gave a boost to French cuisine by insisting on creating light, graceful, and good presented dishes. He was a saucier, means he was working in a sauce section. His main task was preparation of sauces. As a garde-manger, when he was working in the cold kitchen, basically a garde-manger is a cold kitchen where we prepare salads, juices, cut fruits, cold meats. Okay, so he popularized cold cuisine. He designed kitchen tools, equipment, and uniform. As an author, he wrote and illustrated important text on culinary arts. So sometimes you get a question, who was Antonin Karim? You can write all these things in the answer. And he popularized French cuisine. Marie Antonin Karim. This is his photograph. Okay. This is something about him, something extra about him. A great chef of the time whose career spanned 30 years, and he was a chef to the kings. He developed grand cuisine. We call it grand cuisine, which was characterized by meals with dozens of courses of elaborate and well presented garnishes and well presented sauces. All those were there in his meal. His books were first real systematic account of cooking principles. He published the first books and portrayed the French cuisine in front of the world through his recipes, through his menus. He made people aware what is French cuisine all about. This was the main primary reason that why he became popular, and he brought these concepts into the modern era. Next is cuisine classic. After Grand Cuisine of Antonin Karim, we study about cuisine classic, which was invented by Auguste Escoffier, who was a chef, who was again a French chef who existed from 1847 to 1935. He is also known as Emperor of the World's Kitchen, or he is also called as Father of Modern Cookery. Okay, he wrote several books, as you can see here. He wrote several books: A Guide to Planning Meals, A Survey of Cuisine Bourgeois, that is Ma Cuisine, La Guide Culinaire, still in use today, a collection of classical cuisine recipes and garnishes. This is a picture of Auguste Escoffier. Okay, so as I told you, he is known as Father of Modern Cookery. He called for order and diversity and a careful selection of 1 or 2 items per course. He said that whatever is extra in a menu should be abolished, because that leads to wastage of items, and the dishes should be simple and they should be delicious. His recipe books are still quite in reference for the chefs who cook today, and he also created a brigade system which is followed still today around the world in all hotel kitchens. That is the system of working, the hierarchy, the organization, how the people are placed in a kitchen one above the another, and what are their duties and responsibilities. The first internationally renowned chef of an American restaurant, Delmonico, in New York City, Charles Ranhofer, existed from 1836 to 1899. So, American culinary revolution was brought in by Charles Ranhofer, who wrote the Epicurean, which consisted 3,500 recipes. He also launched the New American Cuisine, and the goal was to serve fresh and locally grown produce in simple preparations that preserved and emphasized the food's natural flavor. Next is fusion cuisine. American cuisine has always been influenced by cuisines from other countries. This is most evident in fusion cuisine, which began in the mid 1980s. In fusion cuisine, ingredients are basically mixed up, or several ingredients which are used in different cuisines are used together in fusion cooking. Then 20th century, Ferdinand Pont, who existed between 1897 to 1955, he refined and modernized the classical cuisine and laid the foundation for nouvelle cuisine, the new cuisine. This new cuisine insisted on making simple, elegant, delicious and well presented dishes from the locally available ingredients. This is the highlight of nouvelle cuisine: locally available ingredients, fresh ingredients, simple method of preparation and good presentation. Gaston Lenotro, also known as father of modern French pastry, began a culinary school, L'École, which is still a very, very famous school of culinary science, culinary studies, and he developed innovations in making several desserts like Bavarians, charlottes and mousses. These are all desserts which he invented, and mastered the techniques of freezing baked products. Now, these chefs, Ferdinand Pont, developed nouvelle cuisine in the 1960s and 1970s. I told you that they focused on simple and natural flavors, lighter sauces, seasonings, shorter cooking times, good presentation, okay, which all yielded to a better capture of the customers, because what all customers want, they don't want foods like which was served to the kings. They want a light and delicious meal, fresh meal, which they can have at least 2 to 3 times in a week when they go out for dining in a restaurant. Modern cooking styles, two opposing forces can be seen at work throughout the history of cooking. One, eliminate the complexity. All have said, all great chefs have emphasized that eliminate complexity and ornamentation and emphasize upon plain natural taste and fresh ingredients. The second is highlight the creativity and innovation of the chef with focus on fancy, more complicated presentations and procedures. So presentation and garnish happens to be a very important part, because as they say that you first eat with your eyes and then you taste the food. So if something looks appealing to you, looks good to you, you want to taste that thing. Okay. So what influences does it have on modern food service preparations? New technologies have evolved of food storage, food transportation. New foods have evolved like hybrid fruits, genetic engineering, new crops. New concerns have arose like health issues, public safety, and sanitation. Okay, all these have emerged. New consumers who are well aware and more concerned about their health issues, right? So globally we can see nowadays the customers are more concerned about their health issues when they go out on eating. They like to know which type of oil is used, which type of spices are used in their food. Okay, is it a healthy option or not? So people are becoming more aware, and that is something which is good about modern cooking, that restaurants are applying these thoughts to the food which they are preparing, that they should meet the expectation of the modern customer. New equipment like freeze drying equipment, blast chillers, vacuum packing, irradiation techniques, okay, have all evolved. Many types of ovens you find, many types of gas ranges, electric gas ranges, even electric tandoor you find. All these are new equipment. Now we will see some pictures of the equipment. See, this is a meat mincer. This is a meat mincer. This is a gas char grill. Okay, a grill which is operated by gas. You don't need to put charcoal in this. You can light up fire. There's a flame below these griddles, and below this grill there is a flame, and those flame heat up these grills and you can cook food on this. Now this is a pickup counter which you see in a 5-star hotel. This is a pickup counter. It's a whetstone grinder which is basically used in grinding of paste, grinding of chutneys, especially in context to South Indian cuisine where rice batter is prepared to prepare dosa and upma, idli. So we use this whetstone grinder to make a smooth paste. Under counter refrigerator, you can work on top of this fridge, and down below you can store up the things. This is a under counter refrigerator. Cold room you can see here. It's a walk-in cold room, means you can walk inside it and keep the things inside it. There will be shelves inside it. This is a cold room. The temperature of a cold room will be below zero. If you are storing dairy products, meat products, especially frozen meat products, it will be below zero. Otherwise you can maintain a temperature from 0 to 5 if you are using it as a refrigerator, 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. Then these are commercial juicers you can see. Now this is different types of gas ranges. There will be high pressure gas ranges required. For example, for Chinese cuisine you require high pressure gas burners. Okay, and for continental cooking you require less pressure gas burners. So different types are available. The bakery equipment, I'll make you aware with some of the bakery equipment which is widely used, most popular bakery equipment. You can see a picture of dough mixer, usually used to prepare batters or dough in a bakery. And then you see on the right side a 2-deck oven. Okay, there are 2 decks in which the item can be baked. There could be 3 decks, 4 decks as per your requirement. They can be fabricated or they can be ready-made, purchased from the market. Now this is a bread slicing machine. You put the loaf of the bread and from the other side you get sliced bread. Proofing chamber, usually used for fermentation while you are making baked products like buns. So what you do is you make buns and put them in the proofing chamber before you bake them, and then you finally put it in the oven for baking. Then dough sheeter, for example you are making a pastry, a puff pastry, okay, or you are making a cookie dough for making biscuits, so you need to roll down the sheet. You can roll down the sheet in this dough sheeter. So all these new equipment chains, what happens that all multi-unit chains prepare food in central commissaries for distribution to their individual stores. Nowadays what happens is they have a central kitchen and they prepare food in the central kitchen and they take out food from the central kitchen to different satellite kitchens. What you usually see in a ODC, outdoor catering, ODC is outdoor catering. They do it like this: they cook, cool or freeze the foods and then they can reheat them when they require. Techniques of food production are also changing. You can prepare and process the foods from the food service operation rather than inside it. Okay, as I told you, the working of a central kitchen. Convenience foods which are readily available in the market are gaining popularity, and different companies are coming into selling their convenience foods which are ready to eat foods. Just heat it in the microwave and you can eat it, like MTR. Okay, MTR is selling dal makhani. For example, you can just take dal makhani packet and heat it in the microwave and eat it. So convenience food market is growing because people are having less time to cook at home. Both the husband and wife is working, so who will prepare the food at home? That is the concern. So this is a new technology. Although this might look like a threat to the chef of today, it will allow the drudgery aspects of food production to be taken away from the chef so that they can spend more time. Now what happens is that now chefs have more time and their skill and their innovation, their creativity is more appreciated than the older times, because now people go out in a restaurant to have something new which they have not tasted in the previous time. So when they get something new, something innovative, they are excited and they want to go back to that restaurant again and again. So research and technology continue to produce new advancements in the tools of the kitchen. Now, great awareness of sanitation and nutrition. As I told you in the days of Escoffier or Antonin Karim, little was known about sanitation and nutrition. But now all customers are concerned about nutrition and sanitation, which makes this a very important aspect for a chef's training or a cook's training. This will allow chefs to produce healthful and well balanced meals. Okay. Application of new world and old world techniques. You can combine new world and old world techniques to produce high quality foods at the dining place, and your imagination will definitely make out a difference in what you create. Now, how does the organization of modern kitchen look like? Based on the Escoffier's classical kitchen brigade, you have the organization of a modern kitchen, which depends on several factors like the menu, the type of establishment, means the hotel, institutional kitchens, catering and banquet services, QSR, quick service restaurants, carry out and full service restaurants. The size of the operation, the physical facilities including the equipment, they all determine the type of menu which you are going to keep for your organization. Now the classical kitchen brigade, which was given by Escoffier, here the chef who is in charge, the person who is in charge of the entire kitchen is known as chef de cuisine or executive chef. Below him is the sous chef. Sous means under in French, so you can also call him under chef. Is normally the second in command and controls the production and staff supervision. Now below sous chef we have all these station chefs. So these station chefs are basically those chefs who are in charge of a particular section. They make a particular thing. For example, the saucier, sauces, stews, stocks, hors d'oeuvres and sauté. The poissonnier, fish dishes. Poisson is a French word for fish. Rôtissier, roasted and braised meats and their gravies and broiled meats. Grillardin, broiled items. Garde-manger, cold foods. Okay. Pâtissier, pastries and desserts. Tournant, relief cook. Expediteur or abattoir takes orders from the waiters and passes them to the cooks. So this is the organization of a modern kitchen. How does it work? It's based on the size of the operation, as we have discussed before, and an operation may have a chef, two chefs and two assistants to handle more simplistic. Now it depends on the size of the operation, that in one section you may have one person also, or you may have one person helping the main chef, or the CDP. So this depends on the size of the organization and business inflow of the organization, the workload. Now, skill levels can be grouped into three categories: supervisory, skilled, and entry level. Starting at the entry level has been the traditional method of advancing one's food service career. Okay, so when you do hotel management course, you start as a trainee, you start as a job trainee, JT. Okay, but if you are extraordinarily knowledgeable, skillful, and passionate, you may get through the interviews of operational trainee or the highest level, which is management trainee also these days. But traditionally what used to be there is that everyone had to start from the entry level, learn the things gradually, and then grow up the organizational ladder in the kitchen. Now, standards of professionalism, as I have told you in the earlier video also, which I made, how you can become a chef. You can watch that video if you have not seen that. You require a positive attitude on job. You require the ability to work with the people. You should not have any physical and mental stress. Eagerness to learn a full range of skills you should have. Experience will definitely make you stand out from the others. Dedication to quality and understanding of the basics. Once again, great cookery requires taste and creativity, appreciation for mastery of technique, understanding of the cooking principles, exercising sound judgment and leadership, commitment to excellence, and most important, you should be proud of your work. Whatever you are doing, you should excel in that. You should be proud of your work, and you should be able to motivate others also to work in a similar way. So I hope this was useful and you gained a lot of information. This topic covered the entire first unit of your syllabus in food production of first semester. If you liked the video, then do press the subscribe button to get new videos in time. Thank you.